coming up on this edition of Southwest TV News. Increased cases of mumps continue to make the news across the country, as numerous sports teams and other sectors are reporting an onslaught of the illness. During the recent council meeting in Chambers, the green light was given to move forward with increasing the city's line of credit by $10.3 million. This week, Swift Current City Council approved a new 10-year deal worth $675,000 for the credit union iPlex in Swift Current, which will include the facility being renamed to the Innovation Credit Union iPlex. Thanks for joining us here today. With numerous cases of mumps being reported across the country, health officials are reminding you to ensure that your child's vaccinations are all up to date. Increased cases of mumps continue to make the news across the country, as numerous sports teams and other sectors are reporting an onslaught of the illness. Generally occurring in childhood, mumps can also affect adults.
Well, it's mostly by respiratory secretions, so anything like coughing when you've actually incubated or are actively having the illness, secretions, sharing of cups and straws and utensils for food, and even by kissing. These are all methods by which it is easily spread. It's very, as you know, a lot of the signs and symptoms will show, enlarged cheeks, so to speak, which is from enlargement of the parotid glands, which are usually infected by the virus. And so a lot of the secretions, which is the saliva that comes from the parotid gland, is loaded with virus, and that's how easily it spreads.
And although being immunized for mumps is part of a series of childhood vaccinations, there are still many in the general public who may not be up to date with their vaccines.
That's right. Initially, when vaccine became available, it was only given as one shot, but it was found some years later that that wasn't enough. So now our regimens are really the two-shot vaccine. There is an assumption that most people who were born before 1970 must have had an exposure to the mumps because it was rampant in those years. And then once vaccination was introduced, there was certainly a big reduction in the mumps, but over time that immunity does wane. So to get a better longevity of the vaccine, we have two-dose regimen now. And unfortunately, we're finding that there's pockets of the population where either they have not had any vaccine to the measles, mumps, and rubella combination, or they've only had one and are not up to date with the two-dose regimens, which makes them more prone to getting the infections.
And if you or your child are experiencing symptoms of the mumps, you're reminded to call ahead to your physician's office to let them know of your symptoms and take further precautions when you arrive at the clinic to help prevent the spread of the illness to others. To get an update on your vaccination history, contact your local public health office.
This is a great example of the health region, the Cypress Health region, and the Ministry of Health working to put the patient first.
For over 12 years, Southwest TV News has provided the visuals for the defining moments in our community. Support your community and help us to continue our work. Support our sponsors by watching the ads on YouTube and by clicking the ads on our website. Pennies per click, which will help us continue to bring you the award-winning news coverage you've come to expect from Southwest TV News.
5, 4, 3, 2.
As the city of Swift Current moves forward on a number of development projects, it's increasing its line of credit. As the city of Swift Current prepares for future growth, its role as a property developer continues to add demands for cash flow. During the recent council meeting in Chambers, the green light was given to move forward with increasing the city's line of credit by $10.3 million. This is on top of the current borrowing limit of $14.3 million, which the city has almost used entirely for various development projects. And according to city officials, the $10.3 million is required for the following areas: including $3.4 million to complete development of the Cypress Point subdivision, $3.9 million for Phase 2 of the South Monroe Industrial Park, and $3 million for other property development in the city. Additional funds, which the city's mayor says are necessary in the short term and will always be required as long as the city chooses to develop its own property.
It's within our debt limit that's set by the province, so we are increasing that level of available credit, if you think about it like that. And as we sell lots, it'll lower that number down. I'm quite confident that through property development, we're not going to hit the upper end of it. But the whole thing with this property development is timing. We've got all that money out right now, say for Cypress Point. And at present, we've got the 8 duplex lots sold, and we've got 2 residential lots sold. We need to put that money out in the short term, and it's important that we have that ability to do that so it doesn't have to continue to come back. So we've applied for the amount that we need to complete the projects.
And with approximately 80 lots yet to be sold behind the hospital and the less than 81 lots still for sale in the new Cypress Point subdivision, Mayor Perreault not only wants to be prepared for future growth, but believes all areas of the city will soon be in high demand by prospective buyers.
I'm confident that in 2017 and 2018, no different than any other year prior, we are going to see lot sales. So as those lots sell, we have a property fund, and that's what this borrowing is for. We will see those lower that amount that's currently sitting in our debt limits.
The target is to have several new lots in the South Monroe Industrial Park area available for sale starting this fall, with ongoing efforts continuing to attract purchasers to the Cypress Point subdivision adjacent to the Elmwood Golf Course. Market Square is a summer tradition in downtown Swift Current, and organizers are now searching for entertainers, food vendors, and artisans to be part of the excitement for the upcoming season. Contact Marlene today at 750-7888 and spend your Saturdays in downtown Swift Current this summer. Market Square, proudly presented by the City of Swift Current, Standard Motors, Innovation Credit Union, and Southwest TV News. Innovation Credit Union has signed a new deal with the City of Swift Current. We have more in this report. It's been 10 years since the initial naming agreement was signed with Innovation Credit Union for the Credit Union iPlex in Swift Current. This week, Swift Current City Council approved a new 10-year deal worth $675,000, which will include the facility being renamed to the Innovation Credit Union iPlex, a partnership which not only benefits the city, but all users of the building.
It really allows us to do some improvements, and most of our improvements go directly to a benefit of everyone. So they're not specific to one group. For example, if we do boards or glass, or we did a video scoreboard, we've done speakers, which we continue to do. Other things would be maybe some additional electrical or replace the lighting right now. The requirements of the WHL continue to, look for improvements and try to keep up with the NHL. So stuff like foot candles and whatnot continues to rise from, say, 100 foot candles to 120 to 160. So everything that we do with the money is we put it right back into the facility, which is good for the community and good for the region.
As per the last agreement, Innovation will receive a corporate suite at the iPlex through the Swift Current Broncos and have the rights to interior and exterior signage of the building, a facility which has welcomed a variety of events over the past 10 years, including 2 World Women's Curling Championships and the CCA Finals Rodeo.
So they're going from, the Credit Union iPlex and really trying to define their organization as the Innovation Credit Union iPlex. So, no, they certainly have the liberty. I mean, there is some areas that they'd perhaps have some interest with all the events we've done over there. For example, on the west side of the building, or the curling west side on the exterior, there's a pretty open wall there that they might want to take advantage of, and they've mentioned that before. So, there'll be some changes. I'm sure people will notice.
The new 10-year naming agreement for the Innovation Credit Union iPlex takes effect as of August 31st. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at southwesttvnews.com. And be sure to follow us on a range of social media. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.